My name is Sage Francis. Boing, oing, oing.
Hey, I'm not Sage. I'm Dibs.
I'm Dose.
Hey, I'm Slug.
I'm Buck.
And I'm Gel.
This is Prem Rock.
And this is Curly Castro.
This is Brother Ali, and you're watching DOD45.
45.
Keep it right here. There's a lot of things happening here that you're not going to get anywhere else.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
DOD45. This is the DOD45 Show, drawing over discussions 45 minutes with a special guest. Welcome. I'm your host and resident artist, Ty of Art by Ty, joined by my awesome co-host, Adrian Taeoalii. In each of these DOD45 episodes, we sit down with a special guest, someone we admire and are inspired by, and we dive into meaningful discussions. But here's the twist. While we're chopping it up with our guest, I'll also be creating live artwork that unfolds in real time. I set a 45-minute timer, grab my pen, and create a one-of-a-kind piece of art for our guest while we chat. So stick around to experience the creative process in action, hear some great stories, and maybe even learn something new and unexpected about today's guest. Peace. DOD45. Hello, Earthlings and my fellow humans.
People of Earth, how are you?
Hello, Adrian.
Yo, Adrian, we did it.
We did it. And you say, no.
We didn't do it.
We didn't do it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the DOD45 Show, where you get to watch me draw while we have a discussion with a special guest. And our guest today is 18andCounting.
Isn't new, it isn't rare. Potential in the air, I know you smell it. Everyone in charge is still completely unaware. Potential in the air, I know you smell it. Everything you do doesn't get through, no one is there. Potential in the air, I know you smell it. And when you kick us to the coast, don't come along. And if you feeling something's missing, fucking hum along.
Yay, hooray. AKA 18AC, AKA 18andC. He's a visual artist, muralist, and music maker out of St. Louis, Missouri. Or Missouri. What's your preference?
Missouri. But sometimes, you know what? I like to
You do.
up.
Every once in a while I hear you say Missouri.
And I purposely say things weird frequently. Like tour.
You do say tour. So while if you continue to say tour, I'm going to say penis.
Instead of penance?
Penis.
Oh, penis? I prefer penis. It sounds a lot less scary.
Scary. What are you, Butch? No.
Oh, you better cut that out.
So yeah, 18andC.
Quick right
you
there.
can turn it off if you'd like.
No, it's okay.
18andC, he raps and tools together soundscapes that are super inspiring. One of my favorite things about doing this show is the time I get to spend on people's music and things that they are creating.
Are you okay?
Yeah, why?
You just sound like you just like I don't know what.
I was staring at the computer because I'm trying to get my drawings lined up right.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Does it look crooked?
Yes.
Well, here we go. We're back in our Utah studio, and as per usual, we didn't give ourselves enough time to actually get all figured out. How's that? Is that okay?
Good. I don't really think anyone cares.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so yeah, we're now in our Utah studio. We're not in Missouri, but that doesn't matter. That's neither here nor there. Anyway, I'm stoked we've discovered 18andCounting's music and his art, and I'm happy he's agreed to join us for a discussion. Before we chop it up with him, let me do some admin stuff and get my conversation skills warmed up with a little husband-wife banter. Just kidding. Not really, but you get it. I just received a message from 18andCounting. He's been he's had some friends in town, so he's out. So he may even need a minute to
get his bearings.
To get his bearings. Hey, everybody, join the live chats. They're a lot of fun. I like to see you in there chatting with us. So hopefully people are in there chatting with us right now. We have affiliates to our show: Strange Famous Records, Speaker Face Store, Underground Sound Mag, Handsmade Collective, Grow Haven, and even many more. But we're now taking on paid sponsorships or paid shout outs. And why, you may ask? I'm sure Adrian was thinking that. But it's to push the show more through social media boosts and YouTube advertising and stuff. I hate that to do that, but that's just the way it is now. We are comfortable with our current reach, but through minimal monetizing, sponsorships, and more, we could even be reaching more. We're gonna do this show regardless, or as long as I can get Adrian to come out and record episodes, but we're gonna do it for that long. So if nobody's interested in doing these paid shout outs or paid sponsorships, that's fine. But for minimal contributions and sponsorships, we could likely triple our audience, maybe even quadruple. What's after quadruple?
You say the more the merrier. I say the less the better.
That's true. But for the sake of the artists that we have on the show, it benefits them to get more listeners. So while we tend to want to do things for ourselves, we must do things for others. Just kidding. Anyway, like I said,
as we stand on the edge of a cliff.
I know. Like I said, we're going to do the show regardless. We don't need the sponsors to continue doing the show. So don't feel like it's going to, you have to do this. But I think it'd be beneficial for our movement of promoting independent artists' music to the masses. So if you have a product or art that you're selling, or live show announcements, upcoming albums, or anything that you think aligns with our show and you'd like us to shout you out on the show, you can email me at ty@artbyty.com or ty@DOD45.com. And then from there, I can provide you with the price sheet. You'll be surprised how low of a rate you can get for, and then be on our show. We'll have weekly, monthly, and annual rates. All right. So as I've been saying, maybe I don't know if you've heard, but for the cost of a plate of tacos from our friends at Terror Tacos in St. Louis, or a few beers from our homies at Brick Box Brewery in Tucson, Arizona, you could be part of our show. Even if you just want a name mention or a shout out or a dedication or some kind of announcement like that, we can do you up for, we can do that for you. Okay, thanks for joining us. Okay, real quick, we recently went to a show at the Byline Aragon Ballroom.
We did.
It was a group that our kids are big fans of, a group called The Garden. They're an experimental rock band out of Orange County, California. They're twin brothers. They were formed in 2011. Anyway, they had a bunch of their friends as their openers for the show. Cowgirl, Clue, Slater, and I know I'm going to get this one wrong because it's 3L, 3D, 3P, but I think it's LDP.
Yes.
Yeah. But I just wanted I wrote out these thoughts, and I don't know when we're recording our next episode. So I wrote out these thoughts during the show.
Okay.
And I'll just say them, and then we can move on, or you can comment on them, whatever. I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea what was going on with the music. It was so loud. It was messy. But I actually appreciated that because I am old and it's not music for me. And the crowd was loving it. I mean, just for me, that was these are things that I was writing while it was happening.
Yes, I did notice you were on your phone.
I was because I was typing out these thoughts. It definitely had me wondering about the music that I listened to when I was young. I don't know if that was good music, but it represented me. So I was way into it. So I could sense that was what was going on at this show. Blockhead, the producer Blockhead, while he was on our show, he kind of alluded to this in an episode with us. And I'm paraphrasing, but I think he was saying that the Red Hot Chili Peppers was good music when we were young and into it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they were good.
I feel that way about a lot of music. Of the things I go back and hear, and I go, "Oh, that was perfect for '93."
Yeah, so I think I think he's onto something with that. My memories of the Chili Peppers and the shows that I went to when I was younger, they're great memories. But I don't listen to the Chili Peppers at all now, and I hear it.
No, but if you're in like a restaurant and it comes on, cool. And I'm talking about any music that for me, I definitely struggle going back and listening to old stuff.
Yeah, some old stuff I'm still I can still get, and I think that's music that's really good. Maybe I don't know. Another thought I had while I was there is I'm really curious about drumming to a sample track. So if you're a drummer out there, please reach out to me. I want to chat with you on the show. And I say that because there was one of the groups that was playing. They had a drummer and someone playing on a beat track. And
Are you talking about The Garden themselves? Because one of them was a drummer. And then sometimes he got
No, I think it was I think one of them's his girlfriend. Whatever the band was, she had a drummer, but then they were also playing these beats. So I'm just curious because a machine plays perfect timing, and there's great drummers out there that play perfect timing. I mean, it's not that hard, but it is a machine plays it, does not skip time at all. So I'm very curious about that. And then this thought I wrote: as an old person / business owner, you notice things. And I noticed the U-line. I think they pronounce it differently. The U-line toilet splash pad in the Johns in the bathrooms.
Okay, I don't even know what that is.
U-line is where
I know what U-line is. I don't know what a toilet splash pad is. In a John, they have like a splash pad, and it's got a little like a scent for scent in it, and it keeps it from pee splashing everywhere. I call them splash pads. I don't know what they're called, but it just said big letters U-line, and so I had noticed that. That's what I'm focused on these days, shit like that. And I also hate to generalize it, but this is another thought I had. I imagine that all sound guys vape. That was the thought I wrote. Okay.
And then one of my favorite things that I noticed while I was at the show is not being consumed with people looking at me and wondering stuff. Like, I'm old. I'm at a show that I know they don't know, like people don't give a shit about me, so I can just enjoy it. But when I was younger, you're worried about what you're wearing or like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense or something? You're like, and you don't have to worry about that. So you can just enjoy it. I noticed that. I wrote that down. And then this is the final thought about that show. That crowd, the crowds that we've been going to, they're so much more thoughtful and respectful.
Yeah.
I wasn't an ass when I was growing up and going to shows, but I don't know if I was as kind to people as we've seen people be at these shows we've been going to.
The genre, or at least the genres that our kids listen to, their peers, and I can't say that this is all of the people their age, but their peers, they are very considerate. Like they give space, Yeah,
it's neat. And they like will tell people, they'll look at you and they'll say like, "Oh, I really like your hair," or "I like your shoes," or "I like your." Yeah, I don't know, and it's like real genuine. Like, why bother anybody to tell them that unless you mean it? So yeah, I did. That was something that I noticed because at that show, everybody minds their space. Everyone's it was. I don't know. And
as a woman, that's at a concert that was the most uncomfortable was when the dude behind you just would not stop.
Yeah, and I don't know if we can blanket say that that's how everyone is, but it definitely seemed that way.
That's what I was saying. At least it seems the genres that our kids listen to when we've gone to their shows.
Well, at that show, they even had a mosh pit up there, but everyone was still like. When I was growing up too, a lot of the punk shows, there were mosh pits, but people still helped each other out. Like if someone went down, they'd help them out. But then there were still big groups of people that weren't that.
Yeah, there was at a Warped Tour where NoFX played, and it was scary as hell.
Yeah, that was when the skinheads were going around.
The straight edgers,
the straight edgers were going around slashing up people. Yeah, how awful. All right, well, so those were my thoughts. Do you have any thoughts before I go into content about our guests?
I am doing my best not to think anymore. Only brings me pain.
You know what? Someone we were listening to recently, someone that I really admire. Oh, John Cooper Clarke, Dr. John Cooper Clarke. He's a poet out of England, and he was part of the punk that punk movement. He's an older gentleman now, but he was talking about the ostrich head in the sand sort of thing. That's sort of the way he lives. And I would say he was probably kind of an activist, or he's someone that has thoughts about feelings and stuff. And I've always been against doing the head in the sand thing, but I'm currently slightly head in the sand and have my, what do you call them, vision blockers on. I'm only going to pay attention to the stuff that I have abilities to take care of, because the noise out there right now is just it's so noisy and bad. And unless I'm going to hit the ground with protesting or whatever, unless I'm going to actually take part in things,
I don't know. All right, listen. Our guest today is 18 and Counting, aka Stan Chisholm. Here's what his bio reads. This is what reads in some places. A heady electroacoustic mix of heavy industrial thuds, scraping atmospheric noises, devastating lows, and haunting strings, more akin to Godspeed than Woo, serve as the warped and degraded compositions over which 18 and Counting dishes out bar after bar of demonically pitch shift, nihilistic stabs at pop culture. Backed by the only ensemble, a world of its own composite of didgeridoo synths, violin, and 4 arms of drums, the vibe here is influenced as much by the dense sound colleges of Public Enemy as it is by the industrial nightmare of throbbing gristle. I like it. Good stuff right there. Always love to see a Godspeed nod in a hip hop considered group bio.
He's cool. I don't know I don't know if he does circuit bending or something. He does something one night of the week and goes
modular.
To a thing. Yeah. What is it?
Modular synths. That's all those little knobs and stuff, and they're turning the knobs, and there's
a lot of wires.
And it goes, because that, So that, it's cool stuff. Really cool stuff. They do that once a week, a modular night.
So, and they let you come and
so people they just gather up. I should at some point ask about that because I don't have that in my notes. They gather up and they kind of jam out.
Do stuff.
It's like a Grateful Dead. Like if you had a bunch of musicians all gather. I mean, Grateful
Dead drum
musicians.
circle.
Getting together. It is. It's just like that. And you get together and you're making cool music. It's awesome. By the way, we record these intros as we're waiting for our guest to join us. So they're not recorded later like most people do. And then we do that to feel like it's like a radio show from back in the day. Anyway, there's always a chance I'm going to mispronounce things or get things wrong, but that's part of it. That's just kind of part of it. You'll have to let it slide. And I say that because here's one of those things that might be absolutely wrong.
Okay.
Is this possible? In 1986, according to the 18 and Counting Bandcamp, he released his 3-track EP, Same Sort of Future. Now, there is one that's been just released, I think from the same thing. Now, could this be him?
It says telemarketer.
I know, but I think his number was 314. Hello. No, I'm doing really good. Do you know a guy named 18 and Counting? Do you know an artist named 18 and Counting? He's from St. Louis. You don't? Oh, no, I know. You're trying to sell something to me, but I'm selling to you or this concept of this artist named 18 and Counting. You should check him out. He's out of St. Louis, Missouri. He's a great musician. Peace. He had the same. Do they do that now?
No, it was 315. I think 315 is the area code over there.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It looked like it was his number.
375. Oh, no. I don't know St. Louis area code.
Oh, sorry, guy. I just we're right in the middle of recording something and you bought. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Listen, I don't know if that's possible.
What it was
1986 was when it was released, but that's not possible. Maybe it's I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, here we go. The track Bando Banger from that, what I just mentioned, is so good from the Same Sort of Future. That's the album.
Okay.
I don't know, EP, whatever. Reminds me of this specific rave that I went to when I was like 16 or 17 at this weird abandoned hotel. It was like in the basement or like the bomb room of, what do you call it? Like the bomb shelter. The bomb shelter of this hotel. It was a real weird night, but the DJs, the soundscape from the DJs there that night are very akin to the Same Sort of Future. So when I first heard it, I was immediately transported to that rave, which is a good thing and a bad thing because there were weird times then. Anyway, the 3 tracks that all came out. So here are 3 tracks that came out in 2014. I think they came out as singles, but maybe they were part of an EP or something. The first is Hey Teen.
I hate a couple human beings, the rest I've never seen, and I hate the way they seem. I hate the internet and hate the silver screen. Hate when niggas act far out and know they in between. I hate greed, hate explaining my clout. Instead of telling them no, I tell them what I'm about. Hate these assholes who think the Lou is in the South. Hate having excuses.
I like that one.
Yeah, I love the beat and I love his delivery on that. I will always love a song where people verbalize the stuff that they hate in their lives.
I know. I go back and forth between hate teen and hate rap.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He does that later on a track, but I'll talk about that one when we get to that one. Also in 2014, he released the song Built Red.
After the fuse and the fumes go boom, I'll be looking like the greatest thing to ever witness movement. Putrid, built red, 1,000 legs, sacred. Putrid, built red, 1,000 legs, sacred. Putrid, built red, 1,000 legs, sacred. Plus, you never heard me say shit about a spaceship. Putrid, built red, 1,000 legs, sacred.
Putrid, built red, 1,000 legs, sacred. Now, if I'm being honest, I have no idea what that means, but I'm into it. And then the other track he released at the in 2014 is a track called WMS, aka We May Still.
Live simpler. I'm looking down at the ground when the blimp erupts. Orange glow, black ash, confetti, stoic. That look that lets you know that the jig is up. You don't love it, but you listen to songs, surrender. Let that evil grope your perimeter. Cold, far beyond literature. Nah, honey, not below. No temperature.
Those are 3 tracks at the early part of his music he widely released that really represent the music that you're going to get from 18AC. In that, that's just in my opinion. And it's why I'm a fan and where I started off after first discovering who he was at a Sk8 Liborious fundraising event in St. Louis, right?
Yeah, the Halloween skate jam last year.
Yeah.
Or 2023.
That was kind of when we first discovered, or at least when I first discovered.
That's when we first discovered him, yeah.
In 2016, he released The Birds at This Hour. That's described as a brick of songs, which I think is cool. On the cover is a brick. A brooding paranoia-induced sultry culmination of tracks collaged from collaborative and isolated recordings, built from the mutated moments of analog gear, acoustic instruments, drum machines, electronic tinged vocals, guest players, and ghosts in the air. I love descriptions like that. And it's an apt description as well. The track At Ease piques my paranoia.
Never find my mind at ease. You'll never find my all the possibilities. You'll never find my mind at ease.
And the live recording of Roaches really makes me wish I would have been at that exact spot and time that it was recorded. It's fucking in your face, and it's like it's got a schizophrenic vibe. I don't know if that's.
You can say those things.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's like, yeah, it's, I loved it.
Here to outlive the rodents and alarm. Constant correspondence, no antenna. Pinpoint accuracy, exactly where you stand. Backed by no demand, attached with broken hands. The cabin collapses, laughter below the land. Trillions gather with swollen plans. Promise me a cake.
His album Animal Skins was released in the winter of 2017, and it's 6 songs of exactly what you'd expect from 18AC. The tracks Reeks, R-E-E-K-S.
I ain't shit until all of these celebrities die. 86, but my closet reached 75. I'm a bit rare, intelligent, and never behind. When I get there, I tell you now it better be live. I ain't shit until all of these celebrities die. 86, but my closet reached 75. I'm a bit rare, intelligent, and never behind. When I get there, I tell you now it better be live.
And the track Hunter really piqued my interest.
Traveling, searching, quick to steal an artifact. Home's been found, fucking up the murder stats. It seems to me my emergency is urgent. Your dirt doesn't work here, swimming in detergent. I ain't stopping, never was an option. Avoiding traffic, took the scenic turned graphic. Laughed the whole time.
This album is Bandcamp described as shredding, unhinged, mutated, intimate, raw, grotesque textures of its own kind. Those are adjectives that are completely on point with that album and a lot of 18andCounting's music. Charles P.
Don't know who he is, but he writes on 18andCounting's Bandcamp, if you listen to the previous release, this is a much more refined and focused release that showcases a sharper approach as a band and carries an intensity that keeps you listening. If abstract rhymes and challenging soundscapes are your jam, this EP is more than enough to tide you over into the world of 18andCounting.
Wow.
Yeah, people write cool stuff. When I write reviews for stuff, I'm like, this is really cool.
Very good. Stop here.
In 2020, he released 36 minutes of improvised hardware material with himself on the instruments and Goya Goon on the vocals. 0 overdubs, one night recording session, straight to cassette tape called, apropos, Straight to Tape. Also in 2020, he dropped a radically aggressive single called Thousand Leg, described as improvised, uncut, one-shot ode to the true mascot of St. Louis, a collab with Cannon on drums. I don't know what that means, a true ode to a true mascot of St. Louis. I'm going to ask him about that. He released a remix of Sister Wizard's track, Don't Play, which I absolutely adore. I don't know a whole lot about Sister Wizard, but I will be investigating more of her music because of this release. All right, I'm coming around to wrapping this up. His 2021 album, There Are No Rules in Space, is up in my favorites. It's a solid as fuck list of 4 tracks, probably his most polished, and he has a song on there called Hate Rap. That's the song we talked about.
I ain't doing that shit, that ain't nothing like it. But most of all, I hate when people think they own you. I hate ice cold tofu. I hate po-po for every reason I'm supposed to. I hate bad logos, I will expose you. I hate county folks with no love alone. I hate they and the shit that they say. I hate the
Hate Rap. That's a song that Adrian added into the DOD45 Loves playlist on a past episode. And there's a YouTube live recording of that Hate Rap with this band that he's in, the Only Ensemble.
I ain't doing that shit. There ain't nothing like me. I didn't come here for this. Nah. Say I ain't doing that shit. There ain't nothing like me. You're supposed to ask when you get, yeah. What? Say I ain't doing that shit. There ain't nothing like me. My nigga pass me the vid, yeah. Say I ain't doing that shit. There ain't nothing like me. That was the past. This is this, yeah. What? Say I ain't doing that shit. There ain't nothing like me, but most of all, I hate when people think they own. I hate ice cold tofu. Hate po-po for every reason I'm supposed to. I hate bad logos, I will expose. Hate county folks with no love for love.
And I think it's just 2 people, him and then a dude on didgeridoo. There's also a drummer, but I don't know who. Like I don't know if the drummer kind of mixes up between them. I shared that song with Sage Francis yesterday, and he said he was really into it. He's gonna be adding it to his ROVR show that he does. Yeah. In 2022, 18andCounting released his Some Sort of Future album. That's the one I'm wondering if that's like a remake of the first one, that so-called quote unquote 1986. Anyway, as far as I know, that's his most recent album. It's obviously something that you have to cop if you like any of the music I've been talking about here. Yeah, you just got to go get it. The track Infinite is a quintessential 18AC.
Yo, why your idle mad producers really mediocre? Backseat saying nothing with a speeding chauffeur. We cover ground like basset hounds and roll up. Sipping gin and some penny loafers, another roller coaster. No, I roll with some jokers, but when they meet me, it's so fly. Praying for me to bring the light like semi-saucer. Got a whole lot of struggle, dog. Came from the jungle, y'all. Home for a Mardi Gras, confidence for a bodyguard.
And then the third track on that album is called Smitten.
I heard you never heard of me. Only on the deepest cuts, I see it all as surgery. Solo scene, taking care of it. Stare at fan faces while I carry every chariot. For real, why lie? I swear to God, I'll turn this club into a church, then church to a parade. Dedicated, getting paid for everything I make. Fully offended, don't call it work if you a slave.
That was a real cool music video that was shot inside Sk8 Liborious church pre-fire. I know, how sad.
That was me crying. Sorry.
He's got some rad features out there too. Features? Did I say futures? He's got some rad features out there on a track called Take Tokes with Farfetched and Scrub.
Yeah, believe me. Yeah. Why fear people when your own conscience will kill you? Who am I illegal, the most obnoxious of evils? Sitting sideways, I live on top of the steeple. Made of stone bronze, these red eyes will see you. Life of a rocker. I'm fully off mine in public thinking I'm camouflaged.
Then I dig a track called Glow with Lewis James.
I hardly know what to say when I see him with heart and no rhythm. 45 rock, 45 RPM. God told me stop, I don't know about leaving. Been bent all day, been busy all PM. Hitting off extra hard since I saw a reason. Up and down the boulevard, always got greeted. Sprint the whole marathon.
And a song I really dig called Abyss with Electric David.
Give me 60 seconds, I'm gone. Golden every mess in my home. Holding every lesson I learned. See that competition I burn. Hit that ominous in my tone. It ain't obvious that I'm cold. Got that audience in the zone. Share this permanence that I earned. With you. Keeping tabs on all the old.
Just go find all the music you can with AT&AC and any music that he's aligned with. It's really inspired music, and it provides inspiration for my art, like absolutely 100%. How about you, Aid? Anything you want to say before we have him on?
Yeah, he's got some cool murals around St. Louis, and he's...
Helping Hand. 385?
You got sold. Yeah, 385. 375.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
They're stealing all your data.
Sorry, if you go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Yeah, he's got cool murals around St. Louis, and then he's the last 2 years I know has been at Paint Louis, and both of his murals, we got to see them in person.
Yeah. If you he, like Adrian said, he plays around live in St. Louis a lot. If you want to see him live, check out his Instagram.
Yeah, I think
he performs a lot.
He's probably the busiest of most of the people we talk to of constantly doing his arts.
Yeah.
Plural.
Yeah, he performs a lot.
He performs
also and
like
paint.
Yeah.
If you're nowhere near Missouri or and you want to see any of his live performances, a lot of them are posted on YouTube. I watched a shit ton of them last night. There's a really good one with KDHX and the Missouri Historical Society. There's a performance of 18andCounting and the Only Ensemble live as part of this group's Listen Live and Local series from 2022. And it's a 44-minute session. It's very similar to Old Blue Live. So yeah. Well, he'd be a cool one to have at the Old Blue Live show.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
I wanted to.
Yeah, like Adrian said, he paints murals. He's a great artist. He recently finished a mural in Dutchtown.
Yeah.
And also, like Adrian said, he had a piece at Paint Louis, and that's a big festival they do in St. Louis that takes place. Yeah, Labor Day weekend. They paint the levee wall? And it's I don't know, a couple miles of the muralists and graffiti artists street artists from all over the world.
If you ever want to go see it, you happen to in St. Louis, if you just look up Mural Mile, your GPS will send you there.
Yeah, and it's really cool. You can drive along it, walk along it. Yeah, it's really awesome, and he's got a piece there. So go check that out. All right, let's get into this. We'll be right back with 18andCounting after this guest announcement.
So probably just do the beginning like Ty would read it. Let's do my Ty voice. Today's guest on the DOD45 Show is a St. Louis-based artist, rapper, producer, and modular music maker. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 18andCounting coming at you. All right. Yeah. Anyway, 18andCounting. Kind of like hip-hop, experimental sound design, really intense immersive performances. He's leader of the Only Ensemble, again, out of St. Louis. big into underground music and art scene, and that's probably because a lot of you cats aren't paying attention to how dope he is. So maybe watch the show, and during that, check out 18 and Counting and see what the fuck I'm talking about. Ignore the other intro. Time made me do it. So I had to. 18 and Counting, let's go!
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
DOD45.
Welcome to the DOD45 Show. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to have you here. For the next 45 minutes, I'm going to draw you a picture while we chop it up. Some of the themes that I'm fitting into the drawing, I have a little bit of an outline here. Some of the things I'm going to fit in here is an armadillo. And I've kind of done the armadillo. I've kind of given him your hair, but I've turned his shell into almost like it's a synth board, like a modular, like a board.
Sick.
So it'll have a bunch of knobs and wires coming out of it. And then also I got a Tasmanian devil in there, which is awesome because I haven't drawn him forever. And he was always, my favorite was Marvin the Martian, but I also really liked Taz. So I've already drawn a Marvin the Martian, so I'm really excited to do this.
We're like the same Looney Tunes zodiac sign or something. You know what I mean? That's
Their energy's similar.
Taz, Sun, Marvin, Moon or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And then he's holding a little song with or a sign with the Rage Against the Machine fist in there, and another little board there. So yeah, well, maybe things get added to it as we're talking. That tends to happen.
Yep.
All right, let's do this. I'll set the timer, and then we can get to the chat.
Yeah.
All right, timer is set. Let's break the ice with some Sophie's Choice questions.
All right, let's get it.
Okay, which is an album you're more likely to listen all the way through? 8Ball and MJG's 1995 album Coming Out Hard or Nirvana's Smell Like Teen Spirit?
Ooh. Probably Nirvana's Smell Like Teen Spirit, because I don't think I've heard either of those albums all the way through. And I feel like Nirvana might be more of a conversation piece because I'm always trying to figure out, like, how did this happen? Why are they so important to people, right? I just knew they were important. It was never like, yo, this is tight. It was like, This is important. And that's, I don't know, arguably equally important, I just want to know.
Yeah, I if I'm being 100% honest, I wasn't really way into them, but I agree. I noticed that. I watched some documentary maybe or something. I can't remember who produced that, but he was going through like how they recorded it, and it all seemed very impressive.
Steve, was that Steve Albini?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah, he was like showing how Kurt like layered his vocals and stuff, and he was isolating them and playing them back and stuff, and it was really quite impressive. But. Here's another Sophie's Choice for you. Which is a better song, Eminem's Stan or Outkast's Staying Kodia?
Stan, you're a stretch.
I'm gonna go Outkast. Yeah,
I like that groove in that jam too. All right, now we can start. We got those out of the way. Where do most of your childhood memories take place? Or in other words, like where did you grow up, or what memories are mostly come from childhood?
Yeah, St. Louis. I'm South City. A bunch of state streets, lived all over. Always been around Cherokee Street and Tower Grove Park. So, anything within walking distance of those spaces, it's like that's my jam.
We're transplants to Missouri. I mean, we're currently in our Utah house, but we live in Hannibal. We go to St. Louis often, and we're still kind of just discovering it. We're only, how long we been there, Adrian? 10 years?
Too long to still just be discovering.
Well, I know, but we're far, it's still a drive to go into town, but like Tower Grove is almost where we most definitely will always end up.
Yeah.
And then we were just recently last week down there to the levee to check out your mural and just the whole thing. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
But that's your second time doing it, or have you done it?
That's four.
Okay.
Since 2001. Yeah.
Oh.
Or not.
And I imagine
2021. No. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Right.
No,
my brain just turned on.
Yeah, it's okay.
we were talking about it in the intro. Like, you perform a lot, even like with music and even just like painting and stuff. Did you tour outside of? I know tour is kind of a weird word, but did you do touring outside of Missouri?
Nah, I mean, I played a few shows. Every now and then I'll get out and go play something, in a different city. I'll line something up, but for the most part, I'm here,
Yeah, there's enough to do in St. Louis.
Yeah, and it's like, I've had this conversation with a handful of folks, but it's like, it's kind of like a playground, like there's enough, physical space. There's enough, weird going on. It's not overpopulated at all. We're far from that.
Right.
And even within any scene, there's just so much, I don't know, like room for experimentation and kind of like, staying true to what you care about rather than having to, I don't know, do the job. You know what I mean? Like pack the house and like get the, it's a funny balance. And I'm sure there's people that would disagree with that, but I don't know, like it's spending my entire life doing it. Here it's like, there's always something else to do. There's always someone else to talk to. And if there's not, there's room to make that shit, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like, that's been the most exciting. It's like, I can come up with an idea for an event or a painting or a song or a performance style. And there's, with patience and with practice, so you're not just doing whack shit. But like, by the time you got your thing figured out, you can find a place to do that. And I think that's, I don't know. I don't know. For what I understand from other traveling artists and musicians, that's a rarity. To have a combination of still a scene to go with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense because it feels more doable in St. Louis. Not to,
It seems like there's a lot of give in St. Louis.
Give?
A lot of leeway. Like you have there because of
there's not a lot of red tape.
Yeah, that because of the past that it was so populated and then it's so much not now. They're just like, yeah, we'll do whatever. We'll do whatever.
Yeah. Some cities are like, there's so much red tape to make anything happen. And I do like that about St. Louis. Have you heard the numbers? We were watching some documentary on St. Louis about like the great, whatever they call it, the great exodus. It was like a crazy amount of people left St. Louis.
Yeah. For white flight to the suburbs.
I don't think
so. Yeah, it was something to do with like, it was more even further back when industry died. I think we watched it on that that documentary where the guy goes and skates the abandoned buildings. And I think he talked something. It was because the city was booming, and then I think it was like 1 million, maybe more, because the population of St. Louis is what, like 600 or something.
Yeah, and it's like so it's about 600,000, something like that, and that's like just the city proper,
Yeah,
but suburbs, we get into the millions, right? When you've got it's like there's funny. One of the things that's like that also makes St. Louis, like politically unique. I don't know, character unique, but our city is not a part of a county. We're an independent city. There's only a couple in the country. So our taxes and our stats and our funding and all of that is literally divided because St. Louis County has its county situation going on, and St. Louis City is our county. So it's not unification on the finances of our metropolitan area. It's literally just our city. I mean, I'm sure there's exceptions in some ways to, some of that being state or federal funding, but that defines a lot of our character too,
Is it disproportionately separated too, like as far as class or any of that? Or?
Segregated as fuck.
Yeah.
Segregated as fuck. Like you could point in a direction and say that's what's going on there very easily and probably be right.
Yeah, because we've brought people in and they're like, wow, what this area and this area are like just like one street next to each other, and you can see this area has money, this area doesn't.
Yeah.
Are you willing to or able to explain these lyrics? I hate to ask people that, but
it's fine.
They're stuck in my head. Putrid, built red, thousand legs, sacred.
All right. So
I'm so curious about it.
It's an interesting one because my guy Delore produced that track, and I'm like we've made music for years together, and like this is one of those ones I'm like, dog, I got to rap over this, and he was like, all right. It already had a name. So Built Red was the name of this instrumental track. And I just kind of built around that. Right. And the Thousand Leg, which is, I think the truest St. Louis mascot. It's a bug. It's a centipede. They call it, the other name is the common house centipede. But some people call them Thousand Legs.
I didn't know that's what they call them.
To me, real Southsiders call them Thousand Legs, right?
Yeah.
So like that being, dare I say, one of my favorite animals. This fucking creature,
the basement centipede.
The basement centipede. You know, you know what I mean? It's got so many names, but they were like.
Is that the one? It has the two little things out the backside of it, right? Or is that?
I think it's like front and back. They're like a symmetrical.
Yeah.
That totally answers one of my other questions that I had, because I've seen it a couple of times. You said the true mascot of St. Louis, and I didn't know what it was alluding to, but that solves that question for me.
Yeah. And I just sometimes I don't know. It's like just knowing that creature is such a love-hate thing, it's just fun to just use that as like the angle to just spit mean rap shit,
Yeah, it's cool.
So I just wanted to like praise that creature and then use the title that was already there for the track, and that's how it turned out.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it is a scary looking thing, but it eats the bugs. Like it eats the bugs, and they're good for you. So
it's been a minute since I've seen it, but there's a video out there of like one just like crushing a spider, just like that's what they do. They eat the spiders, and I've never heard anyone say they got bit by a thousand leg.
Yeah, they're the Thousand Leg. They need a new promotional team or something, because they're people are still afraid of them. They need.
Yeah, we're from Utah, and we just don't have them out here. And so when they seem to come in the fall into our basement there in Hannibal, and our kids are like, that's where our laundry is. They will not leave their laundry baskets down there. Nothing.
But yeah, they're harmless. Yeah, they're awesome. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Are you a Herbie Hancock fan?
I am, but I can't. It's like I know what I know, and I'm really careful about claiming fans about such enormous icons.
Agreed.
Because if I can't hang, then I'm not a fan.
Well, I totally understand that, because I'm a fan of hip hop. I'm just an all around fan of music. But when people want to wax philosophies about certain things, I can't, because I don't retain a lot of information about what someone did or what this means, but I just know that I love it, because I'm the same with Herbie Hancock. I'll never anything I'm asking to is never like can you I'm never trying to make myself look smarter. I was watching this performance, it's from this 1976 performance from Danish television, and I bring it up because it's this really magical thing on YouTube. You can't really find footage of it, but I was watching with my son, and the way he's operating all his synthesizers and stuff, it was very reminiscent of when I was watching like one of your videos doing at a live show. And when I watch it, are they planned things when you're going from synth to modular, all that stuff, or is it just the feel?
I put it, it's like it's a little bit of both. You know what I mean? I try to have like, I don't know, not sometimes it's a map. Sometimes that map is in order. Sometimes it's behaviors. Sometimes it is, don't forget to bring that out, right? It's like sometimes it's about just showing the sound of of the palette that's there, and I need to make sure I get to that. Sometimes it is, whoops, now we're at this tempo. How do I adapt to that? You know, or I don't feel like rapping that song right now. Let's do this one instead. You know, so there's like, there's kind of, you know, there's like songs that I have to perform. So at some point I got to fit that into whatever time slot I have.
Right.
That's the other thing, the time slot and the show. So sometimes it's like, this might be better as a DJ set. Oh, this might be better as a loud rap. This might be better as a quiet, thoughtful, straightforward rap. You know, so sometimes it's just like feeling the room too.
Right.
But it's always like, how do I stop this from getting out of control?
Well, yeah, let me
like,
ask you
all
this.
right, shut that down tastefully, right? And then bring in the next thing.
Instead of just a truncated, like,
Well,
I'm so intrigued by this now because I used to perform in a band, but I'm new to drum machines and stuff like that. The band I played with, we had a drummer in it. But I'm so curious now, who's in track of time? I imagine the drum machine, and if so, do you have to be a really sophisticated drummer to be able, like, who's leading the time when you're playing with a drummer in a band?
Well, it goes both. Usually, if I've got a drummer, like if I'm like, I rock with the best. You know, they like bad players. You know what I mean? Like Bobo and Cannon. Those are like, it's my dudes. And I guess like when I was rocking with Bobo, it was fully Bobo. At that time I didn't have time control. I didn't have sequencers. Right. I didn't have, you know, I've kind of like developed into that, you know, since I first started working with, you know, a full drummer dedicated to the full kit and you know, and steering us. But since then, with Canon, it'll be either or. Some songs are I've got full time. Some songs are he's got full time. Sometimes it's all I have is just essentially like a metronome, like a subtle drum track going, and it's just there. But you know, I think, and that kind of speaks to the previous question about like decisions on the spot, and like it's all about showing it all off. You know, it's like that's the thing I love about bands is like the solo. You know, like, or now that thing is appearing into the story. And, you know, it's like, it doesn't have to be there the whole time. Just let us all see it, you know, let us all hear it, you know? So like, I think that's like when you have humans in your band, because sometimes the mixer is in charge, you know, sometimes the sequencer is in charge if I'm going solo, or sometimes my hands are in charge, you know, it's like, it's just, I don't know. I just think it's super important to like exhibit variety within a musical performance. Of course, like within confidence, or you know, with vulnerability, or whatever it needs to be. But yeah, give us all of that.
I agree. We have yet to be able to get there to catch you live, but I have watched a shit ton of what's available on YouTube of your guys' performances, and I really enjoy it. And it feels improvised, but not like, but also very in control, improvisational, whatever the word is. It's really impressive. So good on you. I like it a lot.
Sick. Thank you.
Can you speak about the St. Louis mural project, what it is, and if it's important if it's an important aspect to the city, or things like that? Because I don't know a whole lot about it, but I love the fact when a city celebrates street art, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. It's sprinkled in there, right? It's like there's a wide variety of different types of artists involved in it that were chosen for it.
Okay.
You know, and this is the first year, and I don't know how it may continue on, but I just know it's inevitably going to continue on in some way, because we got 28 murals over the summer. The city got 28 murals,
great.
you know, and you know, you mentioned red tape earlier, and like, and some, you know, like how that relates to St. Louis. And you know, I feel like it used to, I don't know, I just remember like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, people were like, ooh, don't paint that. Ooh, it's brick. Don't paint that. It's brick. It's old.
Yeah.
It's pretty already, you know? It's like, there's so many fucking brick walls in this city. Let's get them, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that attitude has kind of changed. And, you know, I don't know. This is just like, you know, my feelings and theories of you know what I mean, about it. But I don't know. It just kind of feels like a big change in, you know, kind of lightening up a little bit. You know?
Yeah.
Like I just, you know, it's like, it's always dark times, but it's especially dark times, you know, in the world right now. And I think people are kind of embracing, you know, the fun stuff.
Yeah.
They need it. You know, it's like it just starts conversations and like, you know, all of that. But the mural project is, so it's like 2 murals for each ward in the city. And it's like federally funded COVID relief money. So like, so it's like the long answer is the Regional Arts Commission. Most of their funding is from tourism. It's like tourism tax. And so this was like relief from, you know, however much money was lost due to COVID and lack of tourism. So that's how that's one of the ways. There's a couple different projects that the Regional Arts Commission is putting on to disperse funds to the artists in the city. And the STL mural project is one of them. It's really awesome. It's like a cool.
It's nice.
There's like a beautiful illustration of like all the artists that Steens did. It's like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, that does bring people in. I mean, people will come to St. Louis just to see what happened from Paint Louis. Like, I mean, it's you should get tourist dollars to pay for things like that, because I mean, we'll travel to spots just to see the art.
Yeah.
I love to hear that.
That's awesome.
Where do you reckon your interest in music and arts initially came from?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a two-step. I mean, like, first, my father and my cousin. My father and my cousin Terrence. And my dad's Stanford, you know. And, you know, I just kind of saw them as like collectors of like comics and just like, my dad's a metalhead, you know what I mean? He's like,
is he?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like looking at AC/DC covers and Metallica covers and Sabbath, and you know what I mean? Like, so like visually and like, and you know, and of course, like, that's not what most black men are listening to in the early 90s.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, that's always like stood out to me as like, oh yeah, you can be this and that.
Yeah.
And there's nothing fucking wrong with it. Right. But that's like a certain, you know, characteristic that I noticed as far as bravery to be an artist.
Yeah.
You know? And then from there, like, just going to school, like, I went to school out in the county. So I grew up in the city, you know, part of the Dissecting program, went to school out in Eureka, Wildwood. And I noticed that was like a way to make friends. Like, I'm just drawing, you know, I'm just doing what I'm doing. It's like, oh, y'all think I'm good at this? All right, cool, let's go. All right, oh, cool, this is something we could talk about now? All right, tight. You know, it was just like always a, how do I put it? Like, naturally what I wanted to do, but also a public, you know, intimate person-to-person gesture. You know what I mean? It was always kind of the thing. I'm like, oh, cool. There's reason for this. All right, so that's what I'm just going to do.
How did you initially get into the modular synths and stuff like that?
So sort of two things. Like when I formed my band, the Only Ensemble in 2015. That was like, how do I put it? I was invited to do a music performance called Lo-Fi Cherokee, and it's usually it's bands in spaces that are not normally music venues, specifically to highlight the businesses and the music scene at that time. So it's like I didn't at that time when I was invited to do that. Pretty early in it, I was just like 404, chaos pad, vocal effects. I had a few things, but it was like essentially me like pressing a button and pressing another button and rapping.
Right.
And at that time, I didn't even have a lot of instrumental projects of my own that were like worthy of doing like a beat set type of thing. So it was just like hit the beat, rap,
Yeah.
Throw a little spice on it. And I didn't want to just do that for like a camera crew in a space. I'm like, that just kind of sounds boring. And also like, I want to like, rub elbows with the bands, like what's up? Who's playing? Like be able to show like, this is how I perform, And so I formed the Only Ensemble, and like everyone is playing an instrument. I'm like, well, I need to play an instrument too. Like what's going to be my thing? So I kind of like fell into effects because like I always thought guitar pedals were for just guitars, and then once I realized audio wise it doesn't matter what you put into these things, I'm like, what? You mean what?
Yeah.
So it kind of started that way, like having a crew of amazing and just open-minded musicians to create with. I'm like, well, I'm just trying to keep up with what I see in y'all,
So when you started the band, you were just the vocal, like you were just rapping. You weren't doing any.
Yeah. So like, well, I mean, sort of. Like on stage, yes, rapping and like processing effects.
Yeah.
Sometimes like the mic is on and those effects are in the mix of the that's a part of the production, almost live production, if you will, or live sampling. Like I'll just catch a snare out of the room and just like play it back at the crowd while I'm
that's awesome.
Like doing stuff like that. But like, how do I put it? Like as I started collecting instruments and getting into sound design and just like kind of collecting for the sake of making interesting textures on the stage, just for like, I would say like, yo, check this pedal out, put this on your rig. Oh, like let's look at these things and figure out how we can like spice that up, or kind of like coaching, producing sort of thing. But at the beginning, it's like, these are the beats that I've got. These are the beats that my friends made. Let's recreate, these tracks live. And, as, I got into modular synths because I realized it's tiny but mighty. Like, what is how do I bring this thing? Like, as I am always working, as I started like producing and making tracks, it's like, this is how I love to make music. Like I want to improvise and just build and make, like most of the songs I drop are me just making sure something's connected. And it's just like, and I don't want that to be boring. So I got a loop going all day, like, all right, I'm about to go vacuum while the things go, like, what's it sound like from upstairs, just, sort of like organically building. It's like, I can't really sit down and say it's hit time. It's sad song time. It's love song time. I don't do that. So I started getting into the modular synths because it was like a smaller footprint with the same exploration that I have in my studio.
Well, what I love about modular synths and all that stuff is it's endless. It's an endless growth and experimentation. Like it does that. You don't ever reach a point where like, oh, I can't try that out. We have a segment on our show called Sage's Social Media Lurk.
All right.
And it's brought to us by Strange Famous Records.
Social media alert. Social media alert.
18AC. What up, baby? What up, Art by Ty and Adrian? So Adrian put Ty onto 18 and Counting. Ty put me onto 18 and Counting. I like the way this works out. I like what we're doing at DOD45. I was given a link to the video Hate Rap. Love it. I love this whole setup that you got going on. I'm sure it changes from time to time, but in that video I was like, I would like to do something like that, but I'm just a plug and play kind of character. You're not even active on Twitter right now. You stopped tweeting in 2022, but it was fun to just scroll through various tweets that really were just aggregated from your Facebook feed. But there was one you posted in 2015 on my birthday, November 18th, where you said, rowdy noontime set at Central Library. I think that's what it was. But, rowdy noontime set at Central Library, 2015. Did you really play a library? How rowdy was it? Tell me more. Peace, stage famous.
Let me thank Sage. First question, and also thank DJ Zoll for the theme music for that.
Yeah, that was, let's see, 2015. I'm in my vinyl era. I'm like 2 years in to spinning strictly vinyl, and my guy Andrew, DJ Boogeyman, had a series of noon dance parties at spots that just weren't the club. I mean, he maybe did some at the club, but if I'm not mistaken, I think they were all deliberately not in the club, but like club energy, you know? Or just feel good, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you know, for some people, the club is like pressure time, dress up, you know what I mean? Go impress some folks. For some people, the club is like freedom to cut loose. You know? It is however you want to show up, but it's noon library. It was fun, you know.
So, but it was at noon, not like
at noon. Central Library downtown. They've got like a music production studio kind of thing. Like library's got a few of them. I know that one does. I think, I'm pretty sure multiple, if not all of them, in the city. Like that's a
awesome
thing you can like get involved in at the library now. Like it's not just books. You can go get on Logic. You know,
that's really cool.
Oh, wow. You know what I mean?
And it's open. But yeah, I guess they don't have like someone that teaches them, but probably they have some kind of classes. But yeah, it makes sense. That's what it's a public space for people to use. Like when the internet first came out, you'd go to the library and use the internet. That makes so much sense. And I imagine that's really fantastic for, I hate this term, but I don't know any term, but for like inner city kids that don't have access to certain things like that.
Absolutely.
How do you get people to show up to a thing like that, though, in the middle of the day?
I mean, it is lunchtime.
You know,
2015 is different.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's, today. You know, at that, you know, we're talking 2015. Like I feel like it's a lot of word of mouth, you know? It's like building the brand and consistency. You know, I feel like that was, I don't know, like from a DJ perspective, there's always waves in what works and kind of like what people are expecting and how people can describe something. And I think like consistency is always the way to win that game. I think now people maybe have a harder time remembering if, it's the third Wednesday or the first Saturday afternoon. You know, it's like, I think because we're all kind of like on the same paths now, I think, you know, social media wise. But yeah, like 2015, 2005, like weeklies, monthlies, like regular things, like I don't know, like genre specific, like people I feel like really gravitated to those as places to, you know, connect with your people, places to like talk the culture, you know, and celebrate that type of music. So like, that's just kind of what that was. I feel like it was just consistent and it was a really cool idea, and people who don't want to go to the traditional club or ain't got time for it, or like, you know, or maybe always, you know, they're around the clock with that energy and don't want to like lock into the, you know, you know, 11 o'clock on Friday, you type of thing, you know.
There is definitely a shift post-pandemic as far as people getting out to shows and going to shows. Also, in the midst of the world of the internet and social media, there is definitely a change. Is it something we just roll with the punches, or is there something that we can grind out to get people to get back out to shows? Have you noticed a difference in the last year or two? That's a kind of like a whole bunch of questions all kind of wrapped into one.
Yeah, no, but I'm riding with it. It's it's like, all right, first off, like I play a lot of shows.
Yeah, you do.
You know, I'm out all the time. You know, you know, and there's a variety of different types of things I'm doing, so I'm not burnt out. I'm not like, it's all I don't know, equally welcomed challenge to, you know, step up to. You know, every time I'm like, let's bring it. This is how I'm gonna bring it. Let's bring it. So I see a lot of my own flux of this type of show, this type of space, this type of event, and I'm grateful for all of that. But I think, you know, as I now have time in my life to plan these things, I feel like the way to do it is like, just do something different, you know? Like, I feel like I do not something different. Like, I'm gonna illustrate, I'm gonna try to make these flyers look good, you know, but that's kind of the same game. Everyone's, you know, wants their flyers to look good, and everyone's going to post it on, you know, the gram, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and I'm like, I'm not actively doing this, but I aspire to at some point. But I just think, hit the streets, handbills, like, get up, you know, just hang out on the corner and just tell people what's coming up. You know what I mean? Like, throw people off guard a little bit. I think it's like, I don't know. I think it's kind of cool when somebody's just like not trying to get, you know what I mean? Of course, like, you know, it's get money. Everybody's like, get money. You know what I'm saying? But like,
sure,
it's cool when someone's just like, yo, this is what I think is cool. Do you think this is cool? Who cares? Now you know. You know, tell somebody that cares if you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you know, or whatever, like your unique way of doing it. And for some people, that's like videos, and like really like for some people that's comedy. You know, for some people that's you know, like knocking on doors or like whatever. Like, I just think it's cool when people like, you know, I guess it's aggressive now because you know, we all have our like personal bubbles like curated and figured out and fed to us and shit. But you know, I think it's cool when somebody like pops up and says like, yo, I do this, check it out. Because otherwise I wouldn't know.
I think that there's going to be a resurgence of flyering again, and like people putting up on, because now it's, I mean, back in the day, that was how everybody did everything. But then we had this whole moment where it was like, you have to post, you know, you post about it. But I think now, because of all the algorithms and all that stuff, people aren't getting the views that they need to promote their stuff. And they're going to be like, oh, wait, now we got to get back out on the street. We got to put up flyers. We got to flyer cart, you know, and I think that I think that will become a thing. Like, just like how vinyl is making a resurgence and stuff, because the generations didn't come from it. They're like, wow, this is cool. Look at these flyers. This is cool. At least I hope. I mean, I guess some people don't want to get back out and do that, but
yeah, sure, yeah. But it's, I guess, like, you know, do all of it. You know, give the variety. You know, and I think like, man, it's like it's become such a job, right?
Yeah,
that it kind of loses the it doesn't feel specific anymore, right? It's like I miss that, you know. I miss like I miss DJ Trackstar handing me a CD at pageant, like, you know what I mean? And like, of course, that was his job at the time, but that was also what he loves, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, I remember that time that you like just gave me this thing and it was hot. And I listened to it and it was hot, you know. Like, I miss that, like you know, kind of like that mixtape sort of era, that like that free CD or like, yo, actually, if you got money, I'll take a couple bucks, but here's also some music anyway. Like, and then seeing those people again and then like talking to them about what they made and like what they were supporting or like, you know, like that. I don't know. It's cool when like
it felt more community like or something like a connection, an actual in-person connection or something.
And still random and still kind of cosmic, you know, like that's like, I don't know, like I feel like making that, however, you know, I think that's the way to bring back that resurgence, right?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, but I think I don't know how else do I like respond to that? I think the other part of that is you know, I think about this a lot, like the generation that was like the age range of folks who were like 19, I mean like pretty much like 18 through like 22 when COVID hit, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a wide range of like getting into, you know, being able to go to shows that are 21 up, being able to sneak into shows, you know, or being able to go to the 18 up shows or whatever it is. Like that's like a real, like, I don't know, kind of severance of like community connection and energy, right? And fresh ideas that I think are just now getting back into things, right? Now, like, you know what I'm saying? So I think that is also like a kind of a delayed thing. I think there's energy and really like appreciation and love. You know what I mean? It's like folks are pulling up and like asking questions and like and just being really like intrigued and kind and like and also sharing their ideas. I feel like that, you know, I feel like we give that generation a hard time because they're like, I don't know, playing hella video games or like not playing outside or whatever. You know what I mean? Like whatever, you know, whatever the old heads are, or you know, shitting on them about. I want to like make sure that it's like not all that. Like like I don't know. Like I feel like they're just like more expressive and genuine, but also like, but yo, this is my take. Like they don't leave that out, and that's kind of like what's cool. I think that's the I don't know. That's the resurgence there. It's like they're getting out again. You know.
Yeah, we have been seeing a little bit when it first came off the pandemic. It was like, oh man, I hope people remember that shows are where it's at.
I hope they remember this like this. Yeah.
All right, it's coming around to the end of this part, and then we'll go into your dish questions. But there are a few things I want to get out. I also hate vacay, but I do want to ask, is there anything you hate now that would go into hate rap 2.0? Probably a lot, but
oh man, let's see. All right, here's the tough thing about hate rap.
Like, I think I know where you're gonna go, but
it's a deliberate, like, I know you're not gonna like hearing this, but hear me out. Right? The name of the game for hate rap is hear me out. And you can like really draw people in with that and give people a chance to kind of think about, you know what? I hate some shit too.
Yeah.
You know? When you put it that way, actually I do hate some shit. Some people you know, it's just
are you with a track like that, people will take offense.
Hell yeah, they're gonna take offense. Hell yeah. Like to the idea without even listening, just bring the word hate on repeat to some people. Like, dog, like this is just like what me and the homies were doing in college, you know, or like right after college, you know. Like I moved back home, I went back to Chicago, and like I'm like, oh, this is what my friends are on right now. Okay, cool. This is hilarious. Let's go. You know what I mean? And we're just doing that outside the bars, outside the clubs, outside the parties, and like. And it's like it's fun. It's fun to see the polarizing effect on people and how folks like, oh, I can hate rap too. You know, we're just freestyling, just like saying stuff. Like it don't matter if you can rap or not. Just like go off. You know what I mean? But these are the rules. We have to hate it.
And people are so silly these days, but it's just a vehicle for expression. Like, it's a great vehicle. I love tracks. I love anytime anyone goes off on shit they hate. I obviously know that it's just, I mean, most of it's hyperbole or just, you know, like a thing of it. But
yeah,
I don't mean to put you on the spot for it. It's okay. All right, I do want to do this thing because it's kind of a new thing. It's a riff. They're like these surreal questions, since I'm considered as a surreal artist. So they're surreal questions sparked off
over here. I'm like, I'm like, the pencil came out. I'm like, all right, highlights. Let's get it.
So these questions are sparked by the titles of songs that you've been featured on or collab with, and I'll run through them real quickly because the timer just went off, and we'll get to your dish questions and get out. But so based on I'm gonna say feature, but I'm gonna say a collaboration on the song "Birthday Face Slap" with Superman Damn Fool.
All right.
And these are surreal, just loosely based on the titles. How do you particularly like to spend your own birthday?
I'm usually getting dinner at Broadway Oyster Bar, and you know, I'm doing my thing. We throw a party at the studio. It's like, ironically enough, Superman Damn Fool and I are like kind of like cosmic twins, right? His birthday's the 13th. I'm the 9th of December. We're almost exactly a decade apart. And yeah, you know, he's part of Screwed Arts and the crew. We throw a party at the studio. So like somewhere around that day, studio party, Broadway Oyster Bar.
This one's from the Original Man track with Damon Davis. And I want to say, is it Siev or
Siege?
Siege. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Siege. I was imagining it was Siege, spelled C-I-E-J. But,
yeah.
All right. So this is just based off the title of the song.
Heavy, a different monopoly on every property. Deadly, instead of stopping the beast, they adopted me. Method chupacabra who shoots revolvers with accuracy. Naturally, my biggest concern is another tragedy. Imagine the anger, intercourse with the new neighbors. Steady bringing y'all new flavors. Far away.
When it comes to buying art, are you cool with prints or are you originals only?
Ooh, I'm cool with prints because that's a whole different art form, right? Like some people, like their originals are the prints. I'm a print maker. I got some hot prints. I got some really cool, like feel and see the texture kind of prints, you know? So
yeah. I figured that would have been the case for you. Then one of them with Farfetched and Scrub, you have a track called Shoppers.
It's hard to sing opera to a crowd full of shoppers. Ever since the pen, my autograph been proper. Convince the bar, watch them all try pop up. 18 is me, how the fuck they gon' stop us? Inverted grin and a pocket full of dollars. The last 5 they got desperate.
And that leads me to asking you, where do you prefer to shop for your gear, your modular synths and all that stuff?
Ooh, you know, if I'm traveling, I'm kind of like, where are the record stores? Where are the instrument shops? Like unique instrument shops. If I'm in a city from traveling, you got a modular shop, I'm pulling up. I'm like, Detroit, Seattle, Portland, you know, I'm going to the shops, but like, I'm here. So I'm online, you know what I mean? Like it's such a, like with modular gear, it's such a specific thing that you can't really, I don't know. I mean, people like to shop how they, you know, same way they like to socialize, you know, it's like, sometimes you want to be in the place to talk that and like, and catch that and feel that. But, there's also some cool stuff that happens on Reverb, you know what I mean? Like having conversations or just like kind of, to me, it's like, it's kind of cool to see, I don't know, if I were to type in shops on Google Maps, it would be really dispersed. You know, it'd be very far away, these places, you know, specific things. But when you're looking for gear and you see like this little small town, it's like, oh, maybe there's a scene there. Maybe there's like, you know what I mean? If there's a person that collects, if there's a person that does that, like to me, you know, I'm always kind of trying to extract those sort of things and bring those to the forefront and those sort of conversations. And, you know, there's a lot of people who don't think there's a modular synth scene in St. Louis. It's like, well, let's show them that there is one, you know, while simultaneously creating it, right? So like it's cool to operate online in that way for that reason, to be able to kind of pull people out of the woodwork and I don't know, kind of imagine spaces differently than, you know, the trees that you might know it for or think you know it for.
Yeah.
You know?
You had mentioned a thing, I'll just ask real quick. You do I don't remember what they're called. They're like the modular synth parties kind of thing, where people come and you guys still do those. So it's like a weekly thing.
Yeah, it's
Is that similar to like a drum circle, but for people on modulars? Like you guys just gather around and all get in on it, or?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I mean, you know, we've got a couple different formats, and you know, sometimes we kind of like let ideas stew for a minute, and like, you know, when it's the right time for it, we'll go for it. But for the most part, it's exactly that. It's like if somebody's ready, they'll rock solo, and then someone will join them, or someone will show up later and kind of jump on the mixer, you know. And yeah,
are those for audience too? Like you can go and watch, like, right? Or is it just to go and perform?
No, it's like it's evolved, right? It's like when we started it, like, and this all started because like the name was too good to not do something with. like
remind me what it's called.
It's a modular mob. Liberally with 2 B's, MOBB.
Yeah,
I mean, like it's like, you know, and and it's like we started. Me and Rob started doing this at our studio at Sk8 Arts, and it's like, well, what happens like when the studio is too hot in the summertime and we still want to keep doing this? All right, well, let's go to the Cola Lounge. So, you know, like we popped out still on Cherokee Street, so we popped out over there. It's like, well, what if we're outside? Because synths need to be outside, you know. It's like your pets. You gotta, you know, you can't just keep them locked in the basement.
Yeah.
You know. So, you know, we started doing some of those outdoors, and then you know, the last 3 months we've been at Fortune Teller Bar, which has been awesome because we've been outside on the patio, and we just did our first one on the inside. And these are all like, I guess the point of that is it's like they're all different vibes, and with that you have different audiences. And when we were at the studio, it was, I think the percentage is starting to shift where like the performers or the musicians are outnumbered, right? And that brings a different sort of approach to performance. And a lot of this is just like, you know, like music production is like a really like lonely art form. You know, it's very like idea
in your head
and trying and you know ego and like, I feel good about this, I feel bad about this, no one's ever gonna hear it. There's so much of that that it just, I don't know, it's just interesting to kind of reverse that and also build a scene and give people like a space to feel, give people space to practice, and like, and also like make it the performance. It's kind of like live art, right? I remember when that was like a move, you know what I mean? It's like, but like, it's not just a DJ. It's like somebody's making a painting on stage, and like, and that's, you know, like that's a performance too. So it kind of like follows some of that, but like it ends up functioning like a drum circle, and like there's really beautiful moments, and like you just kind of have to ride the wave to get there. You can't just show up and flip a button and be like, bam, here's some hot fire. It's like, oh, I got to listen to what everyone else is doing. Oh, I got to find what I'm doing. Oh, I got to actually like try this thing out that I'm learning. You know, it's like,
you got to feel your way through.
Yeah, it's so cool to like, you know, connect with people. I mean, there's people that I only see at Modular Mob.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And it's like, and we're like making hot shit, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, and there's people in the crowd that like are, you know, this, cause it's not like a stage. It's not like a set times or nothing,
right?
You know,
you're all together.
Yeah, you know, and it's cool to like just kind of like break that up and still, you know, kind of achieve the same results. of like a headliner,
Yeah.
guess who's in town, it's midnight.
Oh, I can't.
The beat's about to drop, like
Yeah.
flowing with it.
I can't wait to see it. We've been planning to come to something at some point when we get back into Missouri, which won't.
Yeah, every time we're heading down into St. Louis, I'm like, oh, let me get on 18 and countings and see.
We always check to see.
See what's cracking. There's always something cracking. Because again, it's like it's that red tape thing. There's not a lot of it, so people are doing funky shit all the time.
The issue I have is finding it. I know it's there. But I don't know where. And
very if you know kind of city. That's one of the things. Like it's like you got to know somebody that knows some stuff.
Is that preferred, or is there should there be a move where we got to try to make it for everybody, or is it preferred to be if you know?
I think it's a naturally protected city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there's always going to be a underground, if you will.
Yep.
And I don't think it's. I mean, I don't know. I don't see any threat to it to that becoming corny or that becoming like overpopulated or like losing the vibe. I think there's always going to be people like, there's too many young people there. I just can't hang out there because there's too many young people partying.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's just for them then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's not.
It's not an excluding energy.
That's not an overwhelming full blanket all the time thing across the city, right?
Yeah.
It's like we're like I feel like I've been saying this forever, but like we're all like the makers are also out doing stuff. So we're kind of spread thin in a way that's like, well, how many? It's like how many spots can be full on any given weekend, and it's never that, right? We're all kind of sharing the same small city population.
That's the situation in Salt Lake City. And I was going to ask you a question about that earlier about, are the people who are going to things, is it a select only, does the city have enough to be able to put things like, like in Chicago, like 20 shows can be going on at one time and they're full because there's enough people who are part of, they're out there doing that. But like cities like Salt Lake City, you can't have, if there's like 3 shows happening, it's spread thin, just like you said. And so is that, I guess, so what you're basically saying, St. Louis is that kind of place where there's only not tiny group, but it's not sustainable to have a bunch of things happening at once.
Yeah. Like, and you're going to have your bars that are always cracking. Right. And like, and of course, like, said DJ, said performer, whoever's the entertainment, in the traditional setting, like whoever's entertainment is going to have their crowd. But like, sometimes things are extra special and you got to go to that extra special thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, but yeah, I don't know. I think, I don't know. I don't feel like we're under threat of becoming corny. I think that's the ultimate, like, that's the, you know what I mean? That's the cliff that no one wants to go off of.
I don't think St. Louis as a city has the room to be corny, because that is a city that I'm like, I mean, we have rappers on the show all the time. That's a city that even a lot of a lot of rappers are like, that city scares me. Not in like a bad thing, but they're like, that city is like, that's a thing.
It's a kind of violently soulful city, if you will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's like there's a certain experience that we all have. And even if you haven't had it, it has happened.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of fucking racial related violence.
Yeah.
Here. And there's plaques about it. You know what I'm saying? It's deep. It's deep. And,
it's a specific palpable energy, but it's one that you can thrive off of as far as creatively. And I think I heard you were even talking about like the cityscape, maybe in an interview or something. But yeah, just like the city itself, there's the buildings, the architecture, all of that.
There's a lot of stories to tell, and I think it's like, I think ultimately that's what makes good music. Words are not, take me on a journey. Show me something. Make me feel what, like, with I don't know, like it's like we're kind of at this like, and this is what's awesome about rap, right? It's such a map, you know, right? And we don't have that as much. It almost doesn't matter where someone is from. It's interesting if they like kind of represent or show that a little bit, but like I don't think people are as concerned with like with reflecting their their location musically. And you know, I still believe in it. I think that's kind of, I mean, you know, product of my time, I suppose, but like I think that's cool. That's fun. Like that's like a good challenge to like try to represent what your place is like for the sake of like education. You know
I agree.
You know, it's a deeper way. It's not like very easy to learn and get. You got to really be into it, but it's the same. Yeah. You know, it's the same. I guess mission, the same objective. Right?
I agree. All right, let me. Here we go. All right, I'll wrap us up. Get us to the dish questions. I'll wrap with these Sophie's Choice questions. Would you rather make an experimental collab album with Counting Crows or with Sheryl Crow?
Sheryl Crow.
Yeah, that'd probably be a little more. It'd be an interesting bit. And then one other one.
Keep it Missouri.
Denzel. Right? Yeah.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. Yeah.
Denzel Washington as Bobby Trench in Two Guns or as Sam Chisholm in The Magnificent Seven?
Ooh, I haven't seen either, but because of numbers and name, I'm going to go Magnificent Seven.
I'm glad you recognize it. That's why I went with him, because of the numbers. I mean, he's been in so many, and then the name, obviously. And then before we go to your dish questions, let's complete the arc of our discussion. Assuming that you'll be living a full, healthy existence, I think I know the answer to this question, but where do you see yourself living out the back nine of your life?
Probably in this basement.
St. Louis, though. I mean, like, yeah, in your city, right?
Yeah, I'm here. You know what I mean? It's like if I'm man, I saw, you know, the internet throws a lot of stuff at you every day, but one that like really stood out to me was this quote about you know, most people would rather become rich enough to avoid the problems that they see in the world rather than address and try to solve them.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You know, and I think about that so much. But
yeah,
you know, if I had the infinite money, I would just go see those places and just post up harder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just post up hard and like just go see the stuff, right? And share that. Like, don't just like have photos, like bring some knowledge back. You know what I mean? Share something with some folks. Talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's, you know, what I would do. But that can happen from anywhere. If, you know, it's that red tape thing. It's not a lot of red tape around here.
Yeah.
You know?
We tell people all the time.
Pros and cons, but not a lot of red tape around here.
Yeah. Well, and it's the only city in America that could have a place like the City Museum. That could not exist in any other city. Yeah. They would have been sued 5 trillion times. I know they probably have a lot of legal issues, but you could never build something like that in any other city.
Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's like the architectural mascot of the city.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and then like the Mural Mile, you won't find that anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have places that have murals, but yeah, nothing like on that.
St. Louis is cool. I keep telling people they haven't. It has taken us 10 years to get like in it and figure it out. And the more we're there, the more I just fall in love with it.
Well, it did make a difference meeting people from the city. That made a big difference.
Yeah.
Because that's how you kind of have to do. All right, I do have to ask this one question. It was in there. What is the biggest myth you see from people? What's the biggest misconception of St. Louis?
I don't know. It's tough to say. It's tough to say because like I can't ignore you know, when like major news outlets put us on the list of the most violent cities in the world or the whatever or the, you know what I mean? And like,
yes.
I can't pretend like that's, you know what I mean? That outnumbers everything.
Right.
People, you know, and it's also true. right? We also have these experiences. Like, or if something terrible hasn't happened to you, you know somebody that has. You know what I mean? We have that close of a connection with awful, violent things, right?
Yes,
and that's terrible. That's terrible, right? Now,
but that's not the identity of the.
That's not the identity. Yes, right. And that's not the identity of the city. That's not how people are moving. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's a certain grit that we have, but like, I don't know. There's a lot of fucking like love and intrigue and just like and sauce. Like people just got sauce. Whatever they're doing, whatever they're about to talk to you about or ask you, or just like however they're flexing, it's like. There's just a lot of, I don't know, like a lot of character to come with and a lot of like wit. And I don't know, I just love fucking talking to people about whatever they got to talk about, you know? And I think that's the, I don't know how to put it. I guess like maybe the misconception is that maybe we're not friendly around here, or maybe we're not like hospitable. Or maybe we're not like looking out for your best interest for real. You know, like I think that's what is maybe
that
what's
the
missing. Yeah, maybe that's what's missing from the from like our vibe is that we're like really like genuine and I don't know. We're just genuine and care. Genuine and
generous.
We're genuine and generous.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
You know, like, we want people to be excited about whatever the fuck we're doing. You got a garden? Talk to me about that. You know, let's hear it. Like, tell me all about it. Yes. You know, or you growing something in a weird spot? Like, let me know about that so I can tell somebody else about that. You know,
yes.
You know,
I agree.
I don't know. The most kind people I've met are from Missouri.
Yeah. You know, it's like that show me state concept is like kind of real. It's weird. Like when I think about it more and more I think about it, it's like, and it's corny because that's like the state motto or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's like actually kind of cool. People are like, yo, let me see what's up. Like, okay, cool. That's what's up. I believe you now. Like, let's rock. You know, like people like, I don't know, like kind of like proving things. And I think that's usually so they can share something with you. It's like they just want
more of
like,
that than to be like, well, I know or to prove it. More of a sharing vibe to it.
Yeah, you know, everyone's like, let me take you deeper. let me show you more. You know?
Yeah.
And it's, you know, that's our flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. That's the tagline is this city has sauce.
The
people in the city have sauce.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. We're here now. We're gonna go into the tape, to the the dish questions, and then we'll wrap you up here.
DOD45.
It's raw. It's fucking raw.
How much you charge for this dish?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Ask you what your interests are.
Do you like it? Who you gonna be talking to?
First things first, the first what's best. Love, hey.
Talk, questions, conversations, laughter.
All right, here we are. Table set. Thank you for joining us on The Dish. This is the bonus discussion of your appearance on the DOD45 show. How you feel right now in this moment? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hash this out. Time to dish your answers to your first, worst, and thirsts. All right. What was your first paying job?
Photographer at Six Flags.
Whoa. Oh, when people would get off the rides or when they first came in?
We both. So the company I work for, I was just telling this story last night. This is crazy. I worked for a photo company that they operated the photos on the rides and then also gave us digital cameras to like roam the park and take like souvenir photos.
Mm-hmm.
It was
so that was like a contractor gig, like that wasn't part of Six Flags. That was like a photography company that said, that's how they all work.
So we didn't have to follow all of the rules that Six Flags had So my ass was a supervisor as a 16-year-old. I got promoted twice. I didn't get paid. I didn't get the raise, but I got the responsibility and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, what am I gonna do about it now? But you know, yeah.
And that was a gig you liked?
It was so fun. I worked with all my friends and met a bunch of people, and like had to fucking learn how to talk to strangers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and
That's
sell
big.
them something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can I ask you a question on that real quick? Are photographers like that? Is that a commission gig? Like, do you get more if you sell the photographs to the guests?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I mean, probably was supposed to somewhere, but that's not what happened.
Yeah.
Disappeared.
What was your worst time on stage?
Ooh, man, I almost had a meltdown at my studio party last year. I think we didn't have the palette I expected. That maybe wasn't the worst. I'm sure something worse has happened.
Right.
But like, that was one where I was like, I'm about to walk off this fucking stage.
Oh, shit.
I just couldn't,
sometimes those happen.
I just couldn't handle how bad it sounded to me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't simplify. I wouldn't bring myself to simplify to make it better. I'm like, no, it's supposed to be this way. But there was just a component missing that I prepared for. It wasn't there. And I was just like, fucking get me out of here.
What's your favorite part about St. Louis?
I think it's that, like, if you know culture. I think it's that, like, that purpose. People move with purpose and people are really genuine. And I think, like, how do I put it? Like, I've described it as, like, yeah, people are here on purpose. You know, like, there's people who've, like, come pass through town a couple times. And, like, you know, I've heard people tell stories of, like, man, my car got broken into and then I had to stay here an extra day. And then I was like, yo, this place fucks.
Yeah.
Like, I'm coming back. I'm gonna live here now. You know what I mean? It's like, there's something about it that, like, when you're here and you feel it and you love it, and like, I feel like, how do I put it? Like, in a non money greedy way, or even in a money greedy way, opportunity just kind of like rings. You know, however you feel like you need to express, do your thing, find your freedom. I think there's a lot of room for that here, and that's like. It's just really sweet, you know?
And it's something that you kind of have to be protective over too, because once everyone starts discovering, like, oh, this place is like, so it's inexpensive to live, but there's cool shit that happens. That's when they start gentrifying shit.
Yeah, you got to vibe check the shit out of some people, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you can't stop them from being here. I don't know. I don't feel like I don't think there's no threats in sight.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are like, that consider themselves servants, right? Like, their creative act is like a service to people. Wow. And I think that is like protected here and felt and like appreciated. So like, a lot of us kind of have to like deliver that attitude to make sure it's preserved.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is done, man. Brings them down to the shot.
There you go, folks. We've been served. I'm stuffed. Check, please. Thanks for serving us. We'll be sure to leave a good tip. What's the next move for you personally or professionally?
Well, right now I'm working on. I'm battling the weather. I'm working on a mural outdoor residential piece. So I'm gonna try to knock that out while it's warm. You know, that's where I'm at. That's where my brain's at. Other than that, just trying to make these hits, man.
Yeah. Speaking of hits,
fingers, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of those, how do you prefer people to stay informed with, or how do you prefer them to get your music? What's the preferred method for people to listen to music?
I don't think I have a preference. You know, it's all out there. We all got Google and just type it in and find something. And it's like,
we are fans over here of people to purchase the music through Bandcamp. That's usually where I send people, because I don't know if they have a specific spot.
Yeah, Bandcamp's like the most financially direct to me, but I don't care. It's like whatever, like convenient for folks, you know.
Awesome.
I've had pretty much everything come my way. People saying like, "Yo, you should put this on SoundCloud because that's how I listen to music," or "You should put this on that."
Right.
Like, I think like I forget to upload things to certain things sometimes. So like the catalog's just scattered. Like it's just it's it's hard to be that type of professional.
Yeah.
For me at least, it's tough to like to make sure that those bases are all covered.
Admin sucks.
Yeah.
Especially for creative.
Yeah, admin's like the worst part of creating artwork.
Trying to make these bangers.
Yeah.
Then just like toss them in the air and have everybody like love them. You know what I mean? Like this one, it don't work.
And then the final thing I like to ask artists who make or speaking on the music part, what is there? If someone's just learning who you are, just discovering you, what do you feel like would be? Where would you like them to start? Where should they get their feet wet that you think will continue their enjoyment into your music? Do you have a preferred song or preferred album, preferred song?
You know, I try to think of like you got to like separate whatever's the newest from being the most important or the most impressive or the most potent, right? So yeah, the newest shit I made, like I love that more than everything. But like when I like really, really like sit and think like what am I most impressed with, what's out there? There's a performance I did with my first band. The only ensemble is like it's my band. It's my live instrumentation group. It changes, ebbs and flows, all of that. But the KCOU, I believe the name of that series is literally Underground. All right, it's it's a college out in Mizzou's college radio. It's KCOU. But yeah, we did a performance in there, and I've been kind of thinking about that. Like the first song in there is this tune called Roaches, kind of going back to that, thousand leg sort of, and it's like it's writing a song about fucking roaches, but like in terms of poetics, and that recording is also like it's clearer than the one that I have on the actual album. That live, the KCOU recording is fucking on. Like mic control, fucking on. Cleanliness of all of our instruments being mixed. Because like when we started, I was fucking mixing us while performing. You know what I'm saying? Like, like who's ready for a slide and didgeridoo? They like, don't fuck my sound up. I'll fuck my sound up if you're gonna fuck it up. Let me do that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but that KCOU recording is just so fucking crispy. And we're all just so on point and just like well rehearsed, and like that shit just feels good. For someone who's an experimental musician who's like always changing what I'm doing, I don't really get a lot of, how do I put it, momentum, right? There's not really all right, cool, I know exactly how this is gonna go. Right. That is us knowing how, that's like the closest it gets to us knowing exactly how it's gonna go. And like, and you can see and feel that we're still all on our fucking toes for it. And
that's the energy that I like.
I'm trying to get back to that shit, and it's like, whatever, things change, instruments change, lives change, people change, all of that. But like musically, go there. Visually, just hop on Instagram, like, like as I finish it, I'm just throwing it out so I can get the next thing going. So,
hey, thanks so much for spending your time with us today, man. We genuinely appreciate it.
This is a great way to start the day. This is awesome.
Yeah, fantastic. We took up some of your day, but hopefully there's still some ahead.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. We're rolling, man. Like so much freedom in my life. It's good.
I'll get this drawing way more detailed. I'll get it sent out to you. I'll get it for you.
It's already cracking.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day.
Yeah. Peace out.
Okay.
Thank you.
Peace. All right, there you go. Hey, everybody! You had to have enjoyed that. What a just a great. I apologize. I'm sending a text real quick. This is something I think I'm gonna do at the end of the episodes.
It's to send text to everyone.
No, I want to send them a text of what I have created for them so far, and let them know that we appreciated having him on there. That way. I'm kind of stealing this from Adam Buxton. I heard him do it on an episode. And
he sent a text to his guest and then was able to say what they had said. But yeah, so man, that was a delightful chat. But you guys don't tune out just yet. We have our movie share and our song share with Chesky, and really the episode is not completely over until you've heard Black Lick's last words. He was a really nice chat, and
I can't wait to see him
live
in person.
Yeah,
we've tried so hard. But we had a really busy year.
Yeah.
We only seemed to go to St. Louis on the days I would check. On the days he wasn't doing anything.
It was kind of the case. Every time we went, he was like played the night before.
Or he was out of town.
Or yeah. No, I've really been consuming a lot of his music lately.
I love that thing that he said that they did, or you or whoever said, that they did early on with the noon thing, because then we could definitely catch them, because that's probably the hardest part of doing St. Louis is the drive home late.
Yeah, it is hard, but we just have to get a hotel or something.
Yeah.
All right, guys, here's the drawing. It's got, you can see it. There it is. He said he was a fan of Tasmanian Devil, Rage Against the Machine. He's also a big TV on the radio, but I don't know enough about them to be able to get that. Someone in the band plays the sliding didgeridoo.
Yeah,
I don't know if he plays it or if it's the other. The other guy. Yeah, I've watched him, but I don't know if he also knows how to play it. But it's a really cool instrument. I've never seen a sliding didgeridoo.
When he mentioned a slide and didgeridoo at the same time, I was thinking a guitar slide.
No, it's similar to like a trombone. Like it slides, so it gets longer and shorter. Yeah, it's really cool. I've watched so much of their performances. He's really good. Just a great chat. I really appreciate him joining us. If you like this drawing that I did, because there are so many Tasmanian Devil fans out there. There really are. I know people always ask me about it. You can get a print of this drawing at the DOD45.com website. Scroll all the way down to the bottom and it'll link you up to the artbyty.com website where you can buy prints of all the DOD45 drawings, all the past drawings. And I'm going to say it again, I'd love to see somebody collect the whole collection. It'd be cool to see that somewhere. Maybe we'll have to open up a museum.
Okay, let's add that to the list.
What you're looking at below Adrian and I here, though, or maybe it's off to the right, is I put another hour or two into the drawing for details and colors. So that's what you're looking at. All right, let's get out of here. I'm going to do these the movie share, and my movie share for today is a movie called Children of Men.
I can't really remember when I last had any hope, and I certainly can't remember when anyone else did either. Because really, since women stopped being able to have babies, what's left to hope for?
Now, I just watched this again with our son last night, and it's one of 18andCounting's favorite movies. So I saw it a long time ago. It came out in 2007, and oh boy, it is so connected to the current time right now. Oh, really? It's kind of was like slightly uncomfortable, but really cool movie.
Yeah.
It stars Clive Owen, and what it is, it's a movie about infertility. It's threatened mankind. Like so, the movie starts off where the youngest person in the planet had been murdered. He's 18 years old. That's the youngest person on the planet, and he became celebrity because of being the youngest person. Okay. And then so infertility, is that the word? Why am I struggling with the word?
That's right.
Infertility it's like taken over. So like I said, the last child that was born has died, and then Clive Owen becomes the champion. He's an unlikely champion in the fight for the survival of Earth's population. He must face down his own demons and protect the planet's last remaining hope from danger. I don't want to give away too much. It's a really, really good music. It's shot so... It was like first time you'd see movies shot like that.
And it had good music?
It's gritty. No.
You said it's a really good music, but I guess you meant movie.
It's a really good movie. Holy cow. Yeah, no. Yeah, thank you. God, I don't know. Sometimes my brain's crazy. It takes place in London. London 2027. That's not far away. No. But the backdrop of the whole movie is every country is gone to shit except for Britain. But the backdrop of the whole story is immigrants. So they're busing out. Immigration is huge in every country, but in this one, like it's illegal to be an immigrant. It was like this movie to what's happening right now was really probably a little too close to home because our son was like, "Oh, what? Why are we watching this?"
Yeah,
but that's just
imagine that's good on the psyche.
Well, it's just in the background. It's like it's kind of set in. That's the subplot of the whole thing, but it is
still
heavy
enough.
Yeah, it's such a great movie. So go watch it, you guys. If you never saw, or if you have seen it, because I have seen it twice, and I remember when I first saw it, I thought, this is really cool. Some of the dialogue I feel like is just old. The way people wrote dialogue back then, it feels unnatural. But I'm being nitpicky there. If you have seen it, you should go watch it again. It's really good, and it's apropos to the time, but not overly, not overbearing. It's not like, oh shit, I'm so depressed. It's just really kind of cool. So that's that.
When you take your ass home.
Adrian, do you have a song?
Yes, it's called Peace.
Oh, cool.
By Youngblood Brass Band and Mike Ladd.
Oh, yeah.
Extended suspended notions of victory. Whole litany of statistically satisfactory batteries of success. Cause we all glitter on the TV sets. Get it off your chest. Yeah, I said cracker. Now I seen spirits flip breakbeats from termite hills by baobab trees, flipping MCs back to Senegalese.
Good. I like when we go back and share some past guests.
Yeah.
Good. So you've been checking out some Mike Ladd stuff.
I have.
Nice.
A bit, and it's funny when you tell Alexa to play Mike Ladd. Because she doesn't know, or he, whatever it is, computer robot thing, does not know what genre of music will come. And then all of a sudden, like, there will be Elvis. Mike Ladd has confused all algorithms.
Oh, he has. I mean, he is the pioneer. Well, maybe that's self-described of art rap.
Yeah. So anyway, I
Cool.
really like this song. It's very fun.
Cool song share. Good job. I have a song share that when we just drove back from Hannibal, Missouri to our Utah house, we were listening to a lot of music because we drove two cars. So Adrian was driving with our daughter and I was driving in the car with our son, Sol. So we were listening to a lot of music. He likes to still listen to the music that I discovered. But anyway, this was a song.
Wait. He still likes
to. He likes to listen to the music that I'm still sharing. I don't know where I was going with that. But we were listening to just new music. So it's fun for me to listen to music with our son Sol because he's way into music, so we're both discovering something together. So we were listening to this playlist of music that's I don't know who the artists are, and it was based off of I think a playlist that I built for either 18andCounting or for The Dead Can Rap. Anyway, this song is called Fix, F-I-X, and it's featuring Speaker's Corner Quartet, Wake. Oh shit! My autocorrect changes these names to these people because this the person was called Wake Boss, Raven Bush, Peter Benny, Biscuit, and Tirza. But I guarantee my autocorrect changed all those names. So just look it up. It's called Fix. Speaker's Corner Quartet. Anyway, after it was over, my son, we were sitting next to each other. He's like, "That song was so awesome," and he texted me the song. Oh, cool. Just as it's a really cool song.
When you're shook, don't look shocked. There's always a place. There is always more.
Got a cool. All the music we were listening to right then was great, but this song in particular was the one I wanted to share. So I apologize for the names of the people performing. It was my first time hearing the song, and I'm now a big fan, and I hope you'll be a fan too. All right, okay, here, our friend Chesky Ramos, a Fake 4, he's got a song share. His song share is, oh shit, I'm going to butcher this. Rosicrucian Rolls Royce. by AJ Suede and Televangel. And he's currently on tour with AJ Suede. So yeah, he was like, here, I want to share a song with them.
Cool.
It's a little short tour, but it's a cool song. It's a song I heard before. But it was cool that he put this in the playlist. So Rosicrucian Rolls Royce.
Thunder in the sky like Zapdos. Simulation glitch beneath the patch notes. Made that Northern Island called Pat Boats. Got the block hotter than El Paso. Crossed the Rio Grande. A hop, skip, and jump away from Juarez. Trying to get closer to the carnage. Trying to get closer to the tarnish. Hollow for humanity.
Thanks, Chesky, for being a part of our Song Share segment. Thanks to you people for subscribing to the playlist. And for those of you that don't know, the playlist is called DOD45 Song Share Playlist. Oh, shit. No, it's not. It's called DOD45 Loves, LUVS.
And it's the hardest playlist you'll ever find.
It's pretty hard to find. I'll try to, you can link right to it in the show notes. Okay. But subscribe to the playlist. The more subscribers that share to the playlist, the more easy it will be able to discover if you just search the word DOD45 LUVS. And if you like that music on there, please do buy the music directly from the artists who are making the music. And we say that for all of our guests and for anyone making music, independent music, please do. Adrian says she didn't like when I do the lecture, but I did get a message from CK12. He said, I love that you remind people to buy music, buy the music from the artists who are making it so we can continue to celebrate music. Okay, thanks everybody. Thanks again to 18andCounting for joining us on the show. That was such a delight. I really wanted to talk heavy about St. Louis, so we got to do a lot of that.
I know. I kind of felt bad like he was the St. Louis ambassador. A tour of ambassadorship. I don't think he'll. So why would? But I also just love St. Louis so much.
He's proud of the city.
I'm proud of that city.
Yeah, it's a great city.
I can't claim it as my own, but I want to.
We're transplants. You can claim it if you love it. I don't think anyone cares. Be sure to pick up his music at 18andcounting.bandcamp.com. Or he says he doesn't mind you streaming it anywhere, but I prefer if you throw him a few bucks. He does have a regular job, but throw him a few bucks on Bandcamp because he's making cool music. Very experimental stuff. Thanks for watching our show. Thanks for supporting my art. That's us done, unless Adrian has any final words.
No, I did, but they're gone. They're gone.
From all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy drawing, happy conversing. Thanks for spending your evening with us. Please tell your friends and family about the DOD45 show and have yourself a terrific week. That's episode end. And those are my final words, but now marinate on these last words from Black Lick.
You got any last words?
Yeah, I got some last words.
Any last words? I have a couple.
Elevation works better than escalation. So one thing that I've learned in my quest through art and in the world of hip-hop is that a lot of people will try to bring you down to their level in order to feel as if they've got an opportunity that they can build off of your level. The thing is that we're all in this thing trying to come up. And if you waste your time coming back down, it's going to take you twice as long to get back to where you were. Because it doesn't come down to anything except you valuing your time more than they value your attention.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
DOD45. Thank you for joining in on yet another episode of the DOD45 Show. Please hit the subscribe or follow button so that you never miss an episode. You can even go one step further by leaving us a review on the YouTube stream or on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever it is that you stream our show from. You can find me at Art by Ty on all the socials or at artbyty.com. And if you'd like to follow the DOD45 Show on social media, we're at DOD45W on Instagram, or you can go over to our website at DOD45.com where you can shoot us an email, join our mailing list, and watch all of our past episodes. Consider joining us for a live chat on the YouTube premieres of episodes now every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Peace.